Still no location on our suspect. Continue to work overhead. You're hearing 2 helicopters. We got the Niagara County Sheriff's helicopter here, the State Police helicopter here. We're going to continue to do that. They're working with infrared. Hopefully that turns up something. We continue to have perimeter posts. We'll continue to have roving patrols throughout the night. If this continues through the night, then we'll just stay at it here. Pick right back up, continue through the morning. So we did get a confirmation on who we believe we're looking for. His name, and I'll get this out to you, is David Clyde Morgan, with an address out of Wilmington, North Carolina. Morgan. First name David, middle is Clyde, Clyde, with a date of birth of 6/2/69. Like I said, we'll get that information out to you if you can share it. If anybody comes across this man, then obviously please call 911 immediately. He is, his history is violent. He has served prison time. He has had weapons charges. So again, I just want to stress that if someone comes in contact with him, do not approach him, call 911, and we have plenty of resources here to respond. So that's the quick update that I have for you.
Have you learned why he was here in the area?
We have not. Preliminary. Again, I stress preliminary on this, is we believe that he did not fire the shot, and that was a preliminary report that I know you folks have been asking about. The preliminary report is that he did point the weapon, and it is all on dash cam, and that the Geneseo officer did fire a round back. So that's the very preliminary, and I stress that. But I do think that you've had a lot of questions about that. You've been patient. I appreciate that. We're still working through the forensics. That's all part of the investigation. But our number one priority right now is get him into custody.
Any update on the woman that was taken in? Is she related to him in any way? Or?
So she's continuing to be interviewed at our place down on Court Street. We'll continue to talk to her, try and get as much information from her as we can to find our suspect here.
Are you releasing her name?
Not at this time.
But again, we don't know why they were here in the area.
I do not.
Can you comment on their relationship?
I don't know that. The investigator's been down there. I've been on scene here.
Since your last briefing, have you had any credible leads or anything, or?
We have not. I could not give you a good answer of his whereabouts. We have a perimeter, as I told you. The perimeter is extremely difficult in this size and in this location. You have corn, you have woods, and now we have darkness.
Yeah. Are you confident he's still in this vicinity? I know before you weren't 100% sure. That's still the case?
No, I still feel the same way. I do not know his whereabouts. We're doing the best we can to try and contain it here, but it's been several hours. He easily could be through our perimeter and just about anywhere right now.
Have you been in contact with anybody in North Carolina?
We are working with officials at NYSEC. A lot of different agencies involved here and everywhere else working.
Is the woman being charged with anything?
We have not charged her as of now.
So you're not able to hold her?
I didn't say that. I just said we haven't charged her as of now. She's cooperating with us. We're going to continue talking to her and try and get as much information to find the suspect.
As the search continues, when do you think, if he's not found, would you plan to have another press briefing?
We will not have another press briefing tonight. We will be in touch with you tomorrow. If something changes in between tonight and tomorrow morning, we'll certainly put out a media release. All right?
Sheriff, did you hear the gunshot, a possible single gunshot? Did anybody report that to you?
Yeah, there was that report. You mean just recently
Yes.
while we were here searching? Yes, there was a report from a search party, meaning a combination of a K-9 team and officers that reported that they possibly heard a single gunshot. It's not confirmed. The general area has been checked overhead by helicopters. Nothing, it's a lead, and it's a general area that we'll focus more on. But so far, nothing turned up there.
What do you say to the people of Geneseo? Obviously, they're concerned right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% get it. I can promise you this: you have the most amount of law enforcement in Livingston County that you've ever had. So you're well protected here. Keep your doors locked. If you see something, call us immediately. If you have home security cameras, review them. If you see something on there, call us. We'll send over an investigator to review it with you.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, this man has a violent past, and obviously had a serious confrontation with the Geneseo police officer. So he's armed and dangerous.
When did you find that out, that he had that past, that he'd served time in prison?
I just found that out. We've been working the last several hours to figure out who we're even looking for. I just got that information, and that's why I'm here talking to you, to relay that the past is a violent one. He was last seen with a firearm, and he was last seen in this general area of 63 and 28.
Do you know if he's on parole? Because that would maybe step this up a little for him if he had something to run for.
Yeah, I don't have all those details right now. Like I said, we're working with a lot of different agencies trying to filter a lot of different information. The priority right now is getting him into custody. Okay? Thanks, folks. Take care.
Okay, and then again, that was Sheriff Dougherty right there reporting to us. We will go live one more time. I know some people couldn't exactly hear everything perfectly, so we can go live again in a few minutes here to help you guys who couldn't hear everything. Again, John Anderson here from the Livingston County News. So they know who this is. They know who they're looking for. We've got his name. The sheriff just said his name. He's from North Carolina. They don't know why he's here. He is with a woman. Didn't say, you know, if a boyfriend or girlfriend, but the sheriff did just say his name, and from North Carolina. Sorry about the background noise and the helicopters. I know it was very hard to hear, but there it is. There, yeah, Mary, thank you for that. David Clyde Morgan. So David Clyde Morgan is the name of the man they are looking for. And again, stay safe. Sheriff Dougherty just gave that update and told the people of Geneseo, you know, be careful, check your trail cams. He knows that we are a hunting, we are a rural area. We have trail cams. They're not just home security cams. So you want to check those. We want to stay safe. Yeah, someone's just saying I can't sleep. I get it. I'm here in Geneseo too. We have our office right on Main Street. Our reporters live right here in Geneseo. You know, actually, one of our reporters, we just went by his house and checked it and locked it up before we came back. So, again, he's from Wilmington, North Carolina, and Sheriff Dougherty is giving us lots of updates. And, boy, really appreciate him. Chris, we'll bring Chris Megcalf, if you want to come on in here for a second. You know, Chris knows this area a little bit, so we're going to talk to him for just a second. But I'm watching, the sheriff is now talking to the state police, and they're just learning this information. Again, the things that we've been telling you at the Livingston County News were accurate, and we wouldn't have thrown them out there if they, you know, weren't from the police. So we want, you know, everyone just to keep checking the updates. And I did say something earlier on our last live broadcast. Check Sheriff Dougherty's Twitter feed. The sheriff has been very, very proactive about his Twitter and getting these updates out there and dispelling any of the rumors. And I think that's a big thing, is the rumors, you know, as they continue to look for this David Morgan from North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina. So the woman is in custody, and they are, you know, they are looking for him, considered armed and dangerous. Everything that we've been reporting has now been confirmed. The gunshot was confirmed, and the fact that he was in state prison has been confirmed. So, again, that's an advantage of being the Livingston County News and right here, and, you know, working with the police here, and you know, they're trying to help us. So, anyway, I'll let you look at the scene here for a second, and we'll bring another live report if we have to, guys. Okay, I see Joe Corbett is asking about a photo. Joe, if you look on our Facebook page and scroll down, you're going to see a photo of the man taken by the dash cam. So please look at that photo. White male in his 40s, 5'9", 200 pounds. And his photo is on our Facebook page, is on the Livingston County News Facebook page. And again, right now you're kind of seeing the state police and the sheriff are all talking right now. Different members of the Long Gray Line and the sheriff are talking. And again, you see here where the road is closed down. There goes an investigator right there. State police investigator just went by us. Ah, Joe, you're making a very good point. Holly Howe, another very good point. You're right. You know, we know who he is. We know he's been arrested. Let's post his mugshot. So, very, you know, very good points by our readers here. And I think again, the reason we haven't done, you know, this has not happened yet is because they're just finding out, you know, a lot of information on him. But that's a very good point there. Yeah, Joe, you're right. It doesn't take that long to get a parole photo, but oh boy, let me just try to kind of come back and talk to you guys about this as I'm watching some of the comments come in. So one of the things that was happening is you saw he has his radio here and they have their phone. They were all actually out in the woods behind me looking for him. This wasn't a big computer situation here. It wasn't like they had the laptop out and you know, they could just give us information from the woods. They were looking for a man who's been in prison, who's armed and dangerous, and so I think getting his mugshot and getting that out there, the first thing they did was grab the dash cam footage, and they wanted to see, you know, it's very important, how did this happen? Did he raise the gun? Did he take the first shot? What happened there? So, you know, that's what's going on. Amanda, you're asking if he knows the surrounding area well, or if he had family members in the surrounding area. You know, we don't know. They don't know his connection right now, but the female is in custody. She's down at Court Street at the Sheriff's Department. I just drove by there. A lot of vehicles, not a lot of sheriff deputies right now down there. So, you know, that's what's happening. Thank you, Amanda. David Clyde Morgan. Why is he in New York? You know, again, we don't know. Yeah, born 6/2 of 69. So, you know, Nancy, there you go. Nancy's really doing the dirty work for us right now. She's pulled up a lot of information on him. I think Joe just asked something about searching helicopters in Dansville. Absolutely, guys. I mean, you've all been through this thing with Bucky Phillips. You've been through this thing with David Sweat. They could have gotten any vehicle. You know, if this guy's been used to being on the run, they have a lot of ways to get away. And possibly can get to Dansville. Why couldn't he be at Dansville? So, yeah, Nancy, thank you to your daughter for that information. Again, our you know, our readers have been incredible, giving information and what they see around Geneseo, and I think that is so important. So, yeah, I get it. You know, being the former prisoner, but this is going to be a little strange. So here's how we know kind of what we know. A reporter who got to the scene found their licenses on the ground, and I think that's where the search of the name came up and where the prison thing came from. North Carolina plates, the licenses were from a different state, I'll just say that, and they were not 100% sure on a few things, you know, on the prison sentence, but their concern was that these licenses may have been fake, like maybe he's on the run. I don't know. So anyway, that was you know, that was one of the things. So that's kind of why we didn't have the most up-to-date accurate information. But again, Sheriff Dougherty on his Twitter account, Livingston County Sheriff, has dispelled a lot of rumors and been very factual. And you guys just saw the live interview with the sheriff, and he answered every question. He didn't pull any punches, and you know, he said exactly what was happening. So, you know, you see one of the that's the sheriff now right here in the vehicle behind me. The sheriff is leaving. Well, he's actually going back toward looks like he's going back towards the woods and the scene. So, is the woman being charged with anything else? You know, I don't know if she's been charged with anything right now. It doesn't appear that she's been charged. Okay, so Matt Leader from the Livingston County News. Matt, could you please text that to me one more time? We'd like to give that update. Matt just texted me exactly when he was released from prison. Yeah, Kimberly, that's exactly what we were saying, you know. But Matt Leader from the Livingston County News now has his priors and his background. And Matt, if you can find his mugshot, released from federal prison on 3/24/17, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons. So that came from Matt Leader from the Livingston County News. He is back at the office. Matt is updating the LCN.com, and he's trying to help update our Twitter and our Facebook page. And again, guys, your comments and everything that you're putting on here are very, very good. And you know, I appreciate Sheriff Dougherty for answering these questions, because you know, he does care about the residents of Geneseo tremendously and what's happening here today. Well, Tisha, that's a good point. And again, you know, they are reading these comments. Obviously, the law enforcement, they're taking any tips and leads, and you guys know the area. And as you know from being in a small town, we can live here our whole lives, yet we don't know about certain areas in these towns. We don't know about maybe that little inlet, the little bit of water, or a trail that someone could get to, or that little area beyond a house. And again, you know, you look at the hunting camps, and they're here. You know, there's a lot of different areas, and people who are not home, people who are on vacation right now. This is a big time to go on vacation. You know, people are vacationing all over. I know it's hot. I know it's almost August, but still, you have people who are, you know, going to the Carolinas, Virginia, Myrtle Beach, Jamaica. They're all over right now. So that's you know, that is another concern where these guys could be hiding. So please, you know, if you know anything or hear anything, let the police know. Again, they're not going to give us another update tonight. I see a lot of the news cameras and crews are now leaving. They're heading back to Rochester, and the state police are still here and still moving. There are still a couple cameras here with us. And you know, I just watched that documentary on the bomber there from Boston at the marathon, and he was hiding in a boat in someone's backyard and found the next morning. Again, you know, a lot of boats in the area too. So okay, so yeah, Christina, you are in Geneseo. You can hear the helicopter. So Christina, you must be a few miles from us, because it's not, I can hear it in the distance, so I'm not sure. Yeah, Marie, you're also a few, you know, a town over, and you can hear it. The Nunday Hills, Tisha, that's another good point there. Yeah, Lisa, we understand. Yeah, the dogs are out in full force. That's one thing I can tell you. You know, yeah, the people at the salt mine, you know, I'm sure they're checking there. I've seen the police going everywhere. That's another great point. Yes, the scent is a big deal. I did talk off camera to one of the sheriff deputies about that, and about that gunshot. That all could lead to, you know, the police dogs finding something, but it looks like they sent the dogs to the area where they heard the shot, and they didn't hear anything. And again, credit to the sheriff for answering that question and telling us everything. Well, there you go, Laura. That's a great tip right there. The salt mines has been shut down for a while because of this. So, again, that's new news to us. Very, you know, very interesting and very wise too by the salt mines to shut down because of this going on. And yeah, a lot of empty dorms on the campus. Brandy, that is correct. And Loretta, you're okay. Well, Brian Becker, that's, you know, I think that's kind of what they're hoping, but I don't know if that happened. That would be obviously the, you know, easiest solution where nobody gets hurt at all. Anyway, so that was interesting there. Yeah, helicopters over near Perry. That's interesting. How did he get away initially? Well, again, he got into that you know, gunfight with the you know, with the Geneseo officer, and we have another. Looks like we have another state police investigator here coming in behind us. He came in with his kind of his parking lights on. So, no, these are not. Jack Neri just asked a question: are they checking all these vehicles? These are not public vehicles, okay? these are investigators in unmarked vehicles who are driving in behind me. So no, the police are not just letting anybody in this area. They're, and they are talking and checking people. The only vehicle I did see go through here was a wrecker, and I think that was the flatbed that took the car out of here from the incident. So yeah, again, that is correct. Active shooter in Geneseo. I hate to say that, and I'm gonna have to move here. Looks like some kind of a vehicle is trying to get through here. Over my shoulder, down 63 South, there are 2 or 3 cars. You can kind of see that way off into the distance there. It's kind of hard to see. So they are obviously still, they are still, checking the area. Christina, is your safety at risk? I hate to say this, but yes. Again, 40 years old. He has a violent history. He has been released from prison. He spent over 12 years in prison, I think 17 years in prison. He exchanged gunfire with a Geneseo police officer, and he is on the run. And again, 5'9", 200 pounds, and wearing some kind of dark clothing in his 40s. Did they say why he was in prison? The records that we pulled up didn't have that information. I'm sure the sheriff knows that now. Does someone want to text or post his name again? It was David. I keep confusing it with the actor there. I don't know what to say. I know there's a Morgan and a David in there, but not a Hyde and a Pierce. There's something in there. So anyways, he is considered armed and dangerous, and the police have not wavered from saying that. Thank you, Emma. David Clyde Morgan of Wilmington, North Carolina. The car had North Carolina plates on it. The woman who was with him is in custody. So, that's what we know. And again, for you people who hunt, this area. You know how difficult this is, and you know all the places that he could be hiding. So be out on the lookout for him. Again, if you're in this area in Geneseo, the sheriff just briefed us and said, please, stay locked inside. Check any video cameras you have. He is armed and dangerous. He is 5'9", 200 pounds, white male in his 40s. I do not believe he's on parole. No, I think he was just released from prison. I see that comment. Again, when we heard here at the LCN that he was released from prison, we got that information to you guys as soon as possible, because that's important. That that just, as I asked the sheriff, was he on parole? That could take it to another level as well. And also, thanks again to the sheriff for confirming what we heard. We heard the gunshot. Chris Metcalf and I heard the gunshot, and sheriff confirmed, yes, they heard it too, and they are really checking that area pretty tight. And Joe, I am asking Matt Leader now if he can get another photo, if he can keep searching for a photo of him. As you guys see the sheriff's department kind of coming through as this investigation is continuing. It is very, very busy here. Well, here you go, Kelsey. I'm telling you, there you go. The photo is up. Livingston County Sheriff has posted it. This guy, he's unbelievable. And again, they are listening to you guys. The police are listening to the public. They're watching these comments, and they know what's going on. Okay, Jay, you just said something about the apartments in Geneseo. We addressed that earlier in our last live feed. No, that was a false report about him being in those apartments there. That did not happen. So no, he was not in those apartments. That was that was live. Tiffany, we don't know. That's an interesting question. We don't know. We just heard the single gunshot. We got that confirmed that it was not by one of the law enforcement personnel. So that's all. That's all we know. So I see another trooper car now over here behind me. The police, as you see, this way, they're, as we head down that way, they're gone. They're long, they're long gone. Another troopers buzzing by here. Well, very good. You guys are now starting to find some child abuse death. Boy, that's going to be an interesting one to look at. So, interesting. Are we going to continue live? Yeah, Amanda, he is a good sheriff. I'll say that. Now, I've dealt with a lot of great sheriffs, but he's been very proactive and very active on his Twitter page today, giving us quick updates. You guys saw on the live video earlier, he just grabbed his phone, picked it up, and gave us information. So he's got his phone, and he can update us immediately on what's gonna happen. Will we report live again tonight? I don't know. I think right now I want to try to get some of this information and get an accurate story up on the website, because they're not going to go live again, but we can obviously keep you guys updated. We're in Geneseo. We're not sleeping. You're not sleeping. So, we might as well keep this going on. So, yeah, the turbo. It's interesting you said that about the turbo taxi. I did hear something about an Uber or a taxi earlier, but no, I don't think that's anything. So anyway, we're looking at the deputies are trying to talk to people and direct traffic here. So no, the Highland Apartments. No, he was not spotted at the Highland Apartments. That was a false report. We did drive over there and we did go live on this Facebook page for a few minutes from the Highland Apartments. That was a false report, and the SWAT team went over there and several vehicles went over there. That was a false report. So anyway, so yeah, Lisa, if he's not found, what is the next step tomorrow? I'm not sure. I'll be here in Geneseo though, because we have a murder trial going on that we're following. So we're gonna keep checking. Yeah, Jamie, no question. There's been a few times driving around where we were like, boy, we got to keep our doors locked, because this guy, could get in our car, or could, anything. This is about the only place I've felt safe. And even right now, the police are looking for him everywhere. There's only one trooper car left here. There are 2 troopers and 1 car. So just a few minutes ago, this was filled with the sheriff and all these troopers, and right now there's 2 troopers and 1 car and just a couple media members. So that's all we have. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to get back right now to the office in Geneseo on Main Street and try to update our website and everything like that, and check with Chris Metcalf and Matt Leader, who have been working on this. I appreciate the help, guys. And we will, Brian, yes, if you look at some of these comments, there are some areas in lockdown. But please keep the comments coming on this feed. We will keep checking these and checking all the tips that you give us. So again, John Anderson here from Livingston County News and the Batavia Daily News. I'm going to sign off now, and hopefully, we're back soon with some very good news for you guys that he's been found.